Stephen, share some advice in our final minutes around to our leaders that perhaps are leaders of a division or a team or a platform or even a company, and they are trying to establish a high trust culture in their company. And one of the great ways is to bring us in and have us consult with them. But if you're thinking about some behaviors that they could go to the office tomorrow morning or back from lunch today, what advice would you give some leaders to say, if you start doing these things, you will see a measurable improvement in the culture of trust in your sphere of influence?
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you 3 things. First, look in the mirror, start with yourself. That's the key thing. You got to model it, you got to lead out with this, and you got to go first. Leaders go first. Someone needs to go first, leaders go first. There's a risk in trusting, there's also a risk in not trusting. So, take that risk. But then secondly, I would say, I would come back to what we've been talking about. You want a high leverage thing to do? Declare your intent. Because it not only gives people a new lens through how which they'll view you, it also will be a good test of what your intent really is. Because we'd all be embarrassed to declare a self-serving intent. You don't want to make up intent if it's not real. If it's disingenuous, then work on your intent before you declare it. If you'd be embarrassed to declare it, then bring more caring to your intent, bring more mutual benefit to it until you would not be embarrassed. So it's a great test. What is my intent? Would I be embarrassed to declare honestly my intent? If I would not be, if it's really one of mutual benefit, one of caring, then that's a great thing to do, declare it. And it's remarkable. This has an immediate impact. People see you differently, and it opens up possibilities. They gain hope of a new possibility, a new option. And so I would do that. I would, so start with yourself, take the risk, go first, declare your intent. There's a risk to do it, there's a risk not to do it. And then lead, the third thing, lead out in extending trust to other people. And
they will feel that immediately.
They feel it immediately. Yeah. Find ways to say, look, I'm going to find ways to trust you. And don't be an entrust iffer, the idea of a trust iffer is, I trust you if you, I'll trust you if you do this, this. Instead be a trust intiller. I do trust you. Until you give me reasons why I shouldn't. Right. My starting point is trust, and I extend the trust, and find ways to lead out and extend trust to your people. And you know what will happen? They will reciprocate the trust back to you. They'll trust you faster. It's ironic that one of the best ways to create trust is simply to give it, because there's a reciprocity of trust, just like there's a reciprocity of distrust. And when you give it, people receive it and they return it. And you want to increase trust as a leader? Trust your people. Trust your team. Find the ways to create that trust. Not only will they give it back to you, they'll be inspired by it, they'll rise to the occasion, they'll perform better. Again, as I said, to be trusted is the most inspiring form of human motivation. It will bring out the best in our people, and they'll perform better. Now look, I'm not naive, Scott.
You're not.
I recognize there's always maybe a few people that might abuse the trust, take advantage. But don't let the 5% of the people who you can't trust define for you the 95% of the people who you can.